Welcome to the tutorial video about the lab Simple Motors. And in this lab, you're going to try to figure out how increasing the voltage supplied to a simple motor changes the speed of the motor, how it turns. So in this case, you've got a motor that is a DC motor with a direct current or DC power source. There's a little armature with copper wire wrapped around it. So when we put the current into the motor setup, it pushes on the metal in the armature and cause it to spin once it's given a little starting push. So looking down at the guideline for the lab, we're going to go ahead and click on the leading edge of the armature, and that's going to track how the motor moves in a circle. We can track how quickly it moves. So the first thing you're going to do is pick a hypothesis you'd like to test or form a claim that you'd like to validate. In this case, you can look at how changing the voltage or increasing the voltage might change the speed in your estimation. So if I just pick one of these at random, you'll notice that becomes my hypothesis. And now we've got four different voltages we can supply to the motor. Let's just start with the first one. When you press play, you're going to see a video of the motor spinning. Here's the voltage, here's the motor spinning. And then you're going to see it in slow motion. Notice it's turning clockwise. And how do we measure that? Okay, so clicking on that leading edge of the arm, right where that yellow arrow points. And each time I click, a little bit of time passes, in this case 100 milliseconds or a tenth of a second, and I measure again. And this is going to get me roughly a measure of the rate of this motor turning. Okay, now it's not quite perfect because of the way that we're measuring and the fact that it's going around in a circle. But if you compare these curves for each of the different voltages, you should get an idea of which one is fastest, which one is slowest, or are they all the same? If you don't like your data, you can always press the reset button. I'm going to press save. It's going to go into my little chart right there. And there's my red curve for the first set of data that I've measured. Measure all four voltages to try to figure out how the speed of a motor changes when the voltage increases in a simple motor.